Good morning, my king.
How are you, Sirat?
I'm good. How you doing?
Very good. What's happening?
I'm awesome. I want us to talk about how it is important we watch the counsel we take and the people who speak into our lives. Some people, or in quote, friends, family, relatives, acquaintances, will help you to break down piece by piece your marriage, your relationship. They'll whisper into your ear. They'll tell you all the reasons why she's so bad, all the reasons why he's so bad. They're there every step of the way, giving you bite-sized information on why you can do better, why you deserve better. When your relationship and marriage is dismantled, for some reason, that friendship falls apart as well. It's literally like they've done the devil's work, and they leave you in the lurch, heartbroken, and having to fix up the devastation of your life, devastated marriage, devastated relationship. It is so important that we are mindful of the people we're taking information and advice from.
Sarah, unfortunately, I couldn't have said it any better. The number of times I've been personally witness to people who are used to do the devil's bidding. And by that I mean, you have so-called friends in your circle, family members, parents sometimes, who get involved in your relationship at a level they have absolutely no business getting involved in. And they wreck your relationship. And then for whatever reason, when they've done whatever they've done, you can't find them on the scene.
Absolutely.
It almost feels like they're trying to run away from the scene of the crime. That's literally what it feels like. And one of the things that we try to do when we're talking to couples is to make them understand unequivocally, specifically when you're married, because the requirements when you're married are very different to even when you're just dating. When you are in a marriage relationship, nobody's voice should be louder in your relationship than your spouse's. Are you with me? And the reason why that is important is because there's always a situation where somebody rears their head into your relationship. And we always say, anything with more than one head is a monster. Anything with three heads is definitely a Medusa-type monster. Are you understanding? And so what it does is that person comes in between the two of you. They invalidate what your spouse says. They come in, they feel like their voice should be louder than anybody else's.
They reduce your person to junk
nothing.
Status.
And then when your relationship is gone, it's like they get a macabre sense of delight from having destroyed what you had. You've got to be very aware. Now, let me place this caveat. We're not suggesting for a moment that you're not supposed to seek counsel. We're not suggesting for a moment that you're not supposed to have advisors and counselors that give you positive advice. But 9 times out of 10, what will happen is you've got somebody who comes, and usually the advice is negative. Leave him, leave her, find somebody else. You can do better. See? And we didn't even plan that. This is the kind of narrative that you hear. And when you hear things like that happening, and you hear that kind of conversation going, you've got to be very aware of what is happening. And your relationship is being destroyed. And then when you're left on your own, that, trust me, and by the way, it was one of the more extreme examples. We've seen situations where they will help to destroy your relationship, and then before you know it, they're in the very same relationship with the person that they told you was no good.
She'll jump in there, she'll take your man, she'll fix that guy, clean that guy up, love him up more than you could ever have done, because you had people speaking in your ear and you allowed her to help you. It happens with men, it happens with women.
It's such a, you've got to be aware, okay? You've got to have your antenna up at all times regarding your relationship. And if you don't, what will end up happening is, like I said, there will be people who will come in and you don't know their agendas. You don't know exactly. It's like sometimes the devil will literally use them like a glove, get them to do his dirty work. And then when he's done, discard them.
That's why discernment is such an essential in your life. It's such an essential.
Be aware.
More so if you're a believer. It's a gift of the Spirit. And so you need to walk in discernment. You need to pray about the people around you. You need to pray those prayers of, Lord, those who don't need to be around me, please remove them. God will remove people in an amazing way, because sometimes we're allowing people who've stayed way past their stay by date,
Yeah.
their use by date, their relevance in our lives, and they're speaking things that bring devastation to our lives. So you've got to do a regular assessment, a regular checkup, a regular just all around cleanup of the people around you, because sometimes it's those people who come so close that your guard comes completely down, and they help you destroy something that you've worked a year for, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years. You've been working at this thing, and they'll tell you, look, you guys have not had any breakthroughs whilst you guys are being married, and yet you're just close to your breakthrough. They'll tell you that you can certainly do better. You're such a beautiful woman. You're such a good looking man. And they'll help you and talk you out of your destiny. Just because it looks good doesn't mean it's the right thing.
Spot on.
Stay in that which God has given you, not what seems right to a man. There is a way that seems right to a man, but the end
is death.
It's death.
It's a disaster.
It's disastrous.
And I wish, Sarah, people's motives were always pure. I wish we lived in that kind of world, but the harsh reality is it's far from it.
Yeah.
A lot of times when some people see you having something that they want, they will do their best to destroy it because they don't want you to have it because they can't have it. If I can't have it,
nobody can have it.
If I'm not in a relationship, why are you in a relationship? If I don't have a man, why do you have a man?
If I'm not happy, why are you so happy?
Yes. And so you've got to be very clear, and you've got to understand the human condition, and you've got to understand the Bible says the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can know it? So don't take things at face level and on a surface level and at face value. Make sure that you are a bit more inquiring in your approach. Okay, so this person is giving me this counsel. What is their motivation? Do they really love me that much? If they're trying to destroy...
Have they ever walked this journey?
If they're trying to destroy my family, the very thing that I've been trying to build, like you were saying, for 25, 30 years, if somebody wants to destroy your family, are they really doing it in your best interest? The chances are absolutely not. You understand? And so what we're saying is, we're not saying that you just enter this bubble where you don't seek counsel and you don't take advice from people. We all need counselors. We all need advisors. Weigh it up. Weigh it up with the word. Use discernment.
Pray
use
about
your
it.
brain.
That's right.
And make sure that when you make a decision, it's a considered decision. Okay? Because, by the way, I want to say this to you. A lot of couples, you're in a situation right now where maybe things aren't working. Maybe your husband isn't in a good place financially. Maybe your wife hasn't reached the levels that you know she potentially can reach. You're not always going to be here. And so what you should never do, don't make long-term decisions based on temporary circumstances.
Absolutely.
You're looking at your husband right now, it doesn't look like much, but give him time, give him 2-3 years, that guy will be flying. And then you're going to be looking back forlornly and wishing, I wish I hadn't listened to my sister. I wish I hadn't listened to my mother. I wish I hadn't listened to my cousin. You understand? But by then it's way too late. Make sure that you take calculated decisions and risks, and make sure that you can live with the consequences of the decisions that you're going to make.
Don't ever let anyone reduce your person to junk nation status. You understand? It is up to you to build and to bring out the king in him. It is up to you to build and bring the queen out of that woman. Don't ever let anyone else who was not there when you two fell in love and you two made a covenant and said, I do, to reduce that person to a junk status. You understand? Don't let people talk you out of your blessing and out of the promises of God for your life, because they'll do a hit and run on you. They'll help you to dismantle. The Bible says a foolish woman will pull down her own house. A wise woman builds, but a foolish one will pull down, dismantle, brick by brick, stick by stick, until there's nothing but devastation left. And guess what? The people who helped you and whispered in your ear have long gone and sauntered off and ridden off into the sunset. So please weigh the voices and the people speaking into your life.
Very important.
Weigh them, weigh their motives, weigh their motives, and that will do you good.
100%.
God bless you guys.
Okay. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.